This week, the sky gives you permission to stop following rules that were never yours. Mars goes out of bounds. Venus moves into her home sign. Mercury enters Leo on the same day as the Lion's Gate portal. This is the week of August 2nd through August 8th, 2026. And if you have been playing it safe, playing it small, or playing by someone else's rules, the cosmos just called that out. I spent years living inside limits that I didn't set for myself. Rules about how much space I was allowed to take up, how loudly I was allowed to speak, how much I was allowed to want. And you know what I've learned? I I've learned through astrology, through Buddhist and yogic traditions, through living it, that those limits are removable. They always were. And that is what I do in this community. Every week, every live, we identify the blocks. We find the teaching that meets it, and we move. This week's sky is one of the strongest backdrops for that work that I have seen all year. So let's go through it one day at a time, and I'll tell you exactly what each transit is asking of you and what you can do with it. Sunday opens with the moon in Aries, the most pioneering, first step taking, I am not waiting energy in the zodiac. And tomorrow, Mars goes out of bounds. So Sunday is your preparation. Ask yourself, what is the boldest action you've been holding back? Name it, write it down, because Monday, the planet of action, is going to be operating without its usual guardrails. The yogic practice for Sunday is really simple. It's Warrior One. Plant your foot forward, raise your arms, claim the week before it begins. The secret of health for both the mind and body is not to mourn the past or worry about the future, but to live in the present moment wisely. The Buddha. Don't carry last week's discouragement into this one. Enter Sunday and this week with complete open hands. Monday, Mars goes out of bounds in Gemini. And this is the transit I've been waiting to talk about because most astrology content doesn't cover it, and it is extraordinary. Out of bounds means Mars has moved beyond the sun's maximum declination, outside the sun's authority, operating without its usual guardrails. So when Mars goes out of bounds, it becomes bolder, wilder, less willing to follow the polite convention. Here's what that means practically. Every self-imposed limit you've accepted as permanent, every I'm just not that kind of person, every it's too late for me, every way you've been playing by the rules that were never actually your rules. Mars out of bounds this week suspends them. In Gemini specifically, the sign of communication, ideas, and bold expression, this transit activates the content you've been holding back, the conversation you've been too cautious to have, the creative idea that felt too ambitious. Too ambitious is the point. Mars out of bounds is not for the cautious. The yoga pose for Monday is Bakasana, crow pose, because crow pose cannot be eased into. You cannot think your way into it. You have to lean forward past the point of no return, and you trust. That is Mars out of bounds. Commit to the leap. It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Then the victory is yours. It cannot be taken from you. The Dharmapada. The battle this week is not external. It is the voice inside that says, you're not ready. Mars out of bounds says, that voice is wrong. And this week it loses. Tuesday is where Monday's boldness gets a container. The sun is in Leo, building toward a trine with Saturn retrograde in Aries exact on Thursday. A trine is a harmony. Leo fire disciplined by Saturn structure. your boldest creative self-expression given the form that makes it last, right? So Mars out of bounds gives you the impulse. Sun trine Saturn gives you the follow through. Together this week, they are extraordinary. So this Tuesday, your actionable step is going to be consistent and do the unglamorous work. Post even when reach feels low. Show up even if the numbers feel discouraging. Sun trine Saturn is watching and it rewards exactly that. Mountain pose is Tuesday's yoga, not the dramatic pose, the unwavering one. The mountain doesn't perform, it simply stands. That's enough. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Zen Buddhist teaching. The chop wood, carry water day of the week, the sacred ordinary, make it holy through devotion. Wednesday night brings the third quarter moon in Taurus. And I want to spend a moment there because this moon phase is the most undervalued in all the lunar cycles. We celebrate the new moon as the new beginning. We celebrate the full moon as like the peak, but the third quarter moon is it's the excel that makes both of those possible. It's the intentional clearing of what has run its course. In Taurus, the sign of the body, the earth, the physical, this release is not just mental. It lives in your body. The tension in your jaw, the weight in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest that you've been kind of carrying since the full moon on July 29th. Your action for Wednesday night is going to be this: 3 slow, deliberate breaths. Physically drop your shoulders on each exhale. Then ask one question: what am I still carrying that is ready to go? Just one thing. You don't need a long list. Just name one thing. Seated forward fold is this moon's yoga. The entire back body surrenders. The head bows. The grip releases. Let the body release what the mind keeps recycling. Let go or be dragged. The Zen Buddhist proverb. Simple, radical. The third quarter moon in Taurus is offering you the graceful version of that release tonight. Take it. Thursday, Sun trine Saturn is exact. And this is the day I want every woman in this community to show up for her work with everything she has. Leo Sun trine Aries Saturn is the transit of creative effort that produces permanent results. Your authentic expression, your voice, your content, your gifts, needing the discipline that makes this possible, what makes it matter. It's not a flash in the pan, it's your foundation. Here's the question Thursday is asking: what would you build today if you knew it would last? Not what gets the most immediate attention. What builds something you'll be able to be proud of in 6 months? Do that Thursday. Whatever that answer is, do that thing. Warrior 2 is Thursday's pose, where Warrior 1 plants the flag, Warrior 2 holds the ground. Arms extended wide, one direction is behind you, honoring where you've been. One direction ahead toward where you're going. Gaze forward, eyes on the horizon, and hold. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. You are not what you do on your best, most inspired day. You are what you do on the ordinary Thursday when you don't really feel like it. That is the woman who builds something that lasts. Friday, Venus enters Libra, and this is the transit I've been most looking forward to talking about this whole week. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, relationships, and self-worth. Libra is her home sign, the sign she rules, where she is most graceful, most powerful, most at ease. When a planet returns home, it operates at its highest expression. What Venus in Libra means for you, the conversation you deserve, is closer. The way you see yourself is being upgraded, and the value you place on your own time, energy, and gifts, it's rising. Whether you decide to acknowledge that or not is the only question. 3 things to notice this weekend under Venus in Libra: how you speak to yourself in the mirror. Venus in Libra wants that conversation to be kind, not performative, genuinely kind. What you're tolerating in your relationships that doesn't feel balanced, Venus in her home sign has very little patience for imbalance. The discomfort you feel is not the problem, it's the invitation. What you're charging energetically, financially, creatively for your gifts, Venus in Libra says more than that. Camel pose is Friday's yoga, the chest wide open, nothing protected. Venus in Libra is the goddess who opens the heart, not because it's safe, but because being seen is worth it. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The Buddha. Venus in Libra is the cosmos making that teaching operational this weekend. Receive it. You don't have to earn it. You are already deserving right now. Saturday, August 8th has 2 extraordinary things happening on the same day. Mercury enters Leo and the Lion's Gate portal opens. Mercury is the planet of communication, thought, and voice. Leo is the sign of bold, unapologetic, dramatically authentic self expression. When Mercury moves into Leo, the voice that has been careful, qualified, softened for other people's comfort, it becomes something else. It becomes loud. It becomes real. It becomes itself. And Mars is still out of bounds this week. Mercury ruled Gemini is where Mars is operating. Leo is where Mercury now lives. These 2 planets are in direct conversation, and what they're agreeing on is this: the time for holding back is finished. 8-8, the Lion's Gate portal, is recognized across spiritual traditions as a day of heightened energetic aperture. The star of Sirius, which ancient Egyptians called the spiritual sun, aligns with our sun and the earth in Leo. Whether you work with that tradition or not, the numerology of 8-8 is undeniable. 8 is the number of abundance and infinite flow. 2 of them doubled. The question the Lion's Gate asks: what wants to flow through you today? Not what can you manufacture? What wants to move through you like a channel? The yoga for 8-8 is lion pose with lion's breath. Kneel, open your mouth, exhale everything that silenced you. The yogic tradition says this pose specifically clears the throat chakra, the energy center of authentic expression, of everything that's been stored there unexpressed. Every word that you've held back, every truth softened, every never mind, it's not that important, right? Exhale all of it and then speak. 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth, the Buddha. Mercury in Leo on 8-8 is cosmos announcing that your truth is one of those 3 things. It cannot be hidden forever. The portal is open. Walk through it. Look at this week as a single story. Sunday, you are preparing your boldest intention. Monday, Mars goes out of bounds and suspends the rules that were keeping you small. Tuesday, the disciplined work gets its container. Wednesday, the 3rd quarter moon asks you to release what's been weighing on you since the full moon. Thursday, Sun trine Saturn exact rewards every woman who has been showing up consistently. Friday, Venus enters her home sign and upgrades how you see yourself and what you're willing to receive. Saturday, Mercury enters Leo on 8-8 and your voice steps into full light. It is a complete arc from bold intention to disciplined action to release to reward to self-worth to authentic voice. The sky built this week as a curriculum, and the question it's asking at every step is the same one: how much of your life are you actually living? The trouble is, you think you have time. The Buddha. The yogic tradition teaches that transformation doesn't happen eventually. It happens in every moment you choose it. Every post made when you didn't really feel like it. Every time you go live, showing up for when the numbers were discouraging. Every truth spoken when silence would have been a whole lot easier. This week, the sky is clearing the path. Your only job is to walk it. If this week's astrology resonated, if any part of this landed somewhere real, I want to invite you into the daily practice. Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm live on YouTube for the Phoenix Renewal Hour. We go through the day's astrology, the Buddhist and yogic teaching, and we do this work in community because it is always better in community. Subscribe to this channel so next week's video finds you. And if you are at the beginning of this work, if you're the woman who knows something needs to change, but isn't really sure where to start, my journal, My Journey to Myself, has 400 prompts designed exactly for you. The link is in the description or just check it in my bio. The week of August 2nd through 8th is one of the boldest, most expressive, most rule-breaking weeks of the year. The rules were never yours anyway. Go break them.